You know, there's really bad action movies you see in the DVD, Blu-ray bargain bins at Rite Aid, or if you go over to Tubi, one of the kind of the free with ads video streaming services, they pack them full of things with pretty decent looking posters, and then you watch the movie and you're like, this is just crap. Uninspired, uninteresting crap. They shoot it in 10 days. They get a semi-likable C-level actor. They put it out. They make their money back. They move on and make the next one. That's pretty, right? You know those movies. And then you know movies like the top of the line, even though a lot of people think they're cheeseball, Fast and Furious, I think are the top of the line stunt action movies being made today. They're wonderfully entertaining, incredibly expensive, way over the top, and a lot of fun. Okay. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign is for the first 3 to 5, 6 missions. It is a straight to Tubi, straight to Rite Aid bargain bin stream piece of crap. It's well made. Ish. There's the whole game, the whole campaign has tons of bugs, a couple of crash bugs, and it looks like a high-end, semi-high-end PS4 game. I don't understand how this is Activision's top team from a technical standpoint, but it is what it is. I was about to quit this game. I bought it for $70. I wanted the campaign early. I know $100. Bought it for $100. I wanted the campaign early, and I'm like streaming it the other night, and I'm like 3 to 4 to 5 levels in. I'm like, this is terrible. This is really boring. What do I think of it? You know, it's okay. It's kind of boring. It really is. It does not at all feel as good as the last Modern Warfare campaign. It's sort of just, you know, it's very average. It's functional. It's perfunctory, but it's so far it's really not that interesting. I played Modern Warfare 1 Remake a couple of years back. I thought that was pretty fucking good campaign. I played, what was it, Black Ops 2 with the red doors dropping in the jungles and shit at the end. I mean, there are great Call of Duty campaigns. And I'm about 6-7 missions into this one. I'm like, this ain't one of them. And not only is it not one of them, it's like, what the fuck happened? This is crap. And here's what's really fascinating. Somewhere around level 6, 7, 8, mission 6, 7, 8, it goes from being a Tubi movie to being the Fast and the fucking Furious. I shit you not. This game in the middle and the last half has some of the best playable action sequences, both in terms of execution, but also in terms of imagination that I've seen in a long time. Just fresh idea after fresh idea after fresh idea. Cool battle scenario, fresh idea. It's like, you have to have heard this if you've thought about going into the industry or you ask people about design and stuff. It's like, everybody's got ideas. There's no idea guys. No, fuck you. You're wrong. I wasn't only an idea guy, but I was an idea guy in part. Okay? Because good commercial fun ideas are hard to come by. You want proof? Look at the beginning of Call of Duty and look at the second half of Call of Duty. Somebody got a hold of that design and said, you know what? We're going to come up, never seen this before. We're going to come up with cargo. We're going to come up with a ship being tossed around on the sea with cargo moving. Now, I don't know if that's the first game that's ever done it, but it's the first game I've ever played where it's been done in such a degree that I was like, what the fuck? This is awesome. Now this right here, this is straight out of a Fast and Furious movie. You and your team have to rescue a fellow operative from a bad guy convoy.
Get the escort vehicles first, then we secure Laswell before AQ can reach the border.
You're leaning out the helicopter with the sniper rifle, shooting the bad guys. Shit goes south real fast, and you find yourself hanging upside down from a helicopter. I have never seen this in a game. I've never seen this in a movie, and it is fucking action movie crack. This is the shit. I like that you can jump from car to car. I know that's been in games before, as recently as the most recent Saints Row, but this one doesn't feel canned like that. This literally just feels like, hey, if you can make the jump, you can take over the car.
All stations, secure the vehicle. AQ convoy still in sight.
It's everything from over-the-top cinematic action adventure pieces to just really interesting tweaks. Here's a great example. Check out this gunfight scenario. All they're doing is taking gunfighting, but they flood half the level, and suddenly you've got above water, underwater stealth going on while you're killing these guys. One little simple change like that, suddenly you've got an engaging level that keeps the game fresh. There's a whole crafting level, and you're like, Jesus, one level for crafting. It's not part of the main thing. This is going to be terrible. It's not terrible. It's a really great break. It's really fun. There's a sequence where you are on closed circuit cameras guiding your buddy. I think it's Ghost you're guiding around. It's a totally new mechanic. It comes and goes in that level, and it doesn't overstay its welcome, but it's very engaging. Good ideas, well executed, are incredibly important.
Time to take out the trash.
I would love to know the behind the scenes production story here. I can't fathom the person who was running creative lead on the beginning is the same person at the end. Or maybe it is, who knows? I mean, maybe it's the same guy and he was depressed and uninspired at the beginning, and then at the end, he totally found his muse. I don't fucking know. All I know is he should have done something. Here's what he should have done. I would have fought tooth and nail to go, look, let's take some of these great missions and put at least a couple of them at the beginning, and let's spread out the fucking gold. Yeah, you'd have to rewrite some of the cutscenes or maybe do a voiceover, and it wouldn't have been the world's best story, but that's not why people are coming to Call of Duty. Come on now, fix this shit. There's a lot of bugs. I don't care about that. Even the crashes, I was having fun, and I'm like, fuck it, let's just reboot. It's about 3 crashes for the whole campaign. The whole campaign lasted me about 6 to 8 hours. There's a lot of visual bugs. We saw a guy just T-posing in the middle of a fucking firefight. I walked up to a door and it showed like the Twilight Zone on the other side. You saw some stuff being drawn, but not everything. The graphics are hit and miss. I mean, people talk about Amsterdam. Yes, Amsterdam looks really good, but then you've got levels like this, you know? It's not like this looks terrible at all. It's just, it looks like a PS4 game, like I said earlier in the video. And look, I don't need the graphics to be amazing if the gameplay is there. I'm not a graphics guy. It's just weird to me that this is what AAA Call of Duty looks like in 2022. I just think gamers have been conditioned now that with the limited freedom this game gives you, and the just the pure linear nature of it, there's very few choices that affect gameplay and the narrative, that those kind of games are expected to have just a beautiful AAA polish. And a game that looks like this today, you better give the player a hell of a lot of freedom, like a great open sandbox game. Otherwise, it just doesn't cut it. So as a piece of execution, I think it's one of the weakest Call of Duties, at least on the campaign I've seen in a very long time. The story is fine. It's not as mouth-breathery, America fuck yeah, as a lot of people will tell you. People always talk about, oh, you know, it's people of color you're shooting. That still happens in this game. But the big bad couldn't be more of a waspy white American dude, along with some other guys who are really, really bad, and they're from the American military. So I don't really get that. I did see a criticism that all the characters in the game keep attaboying each other ad nauseum, and it's true. It's like, dude, just go ask him out on a date. If I think it was Gaz was the character I'm playing, I don't have him all right in my head. If he basically gave Ghost another compliment about how amazing he is.
Classic Ghost. Only Ghost can pull that off. I want to be like you when I grow up.
You want to be better than me, Johnny?
Ghost waited for me.
Of course, no?
No.
Yes, diversions and sabotage. Nice, Johnny.
I learned from the best, LT.
I would just say, fuck it, fellas. Let's just put in a God of War sex minigame and let's be done with it. It's obnoxious. There's some controversy about this moment right here.
Someone's out there. Fuckers.
Por acá.
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
Stay inside. Get back inside.
Oh, shit!
And I'm not going to shit on the controversy. I mean, a lot of these websites reach more than they should. It's just whatever. It's dumb. It ultimately hurts their brand because you can't tell when they're being genuine versus just going for clicks. But in this case, I'm open to these kinds of ideas. I think it's important how games portray the world because games are entertainment like anything else, and they affect culture. This game, though, when people are saying this is bad, he should have de-escalated in a more proper way. Okay, it's not a bad point in the grand scheme of things. Certainly an American's civil rights must be protected by people who enforce the law. There's no argument there. But I think in this scene, ultimately, yeah, in the future, if they do this, they could still keep it tense. They could just hit the button and instead of aiming a gun, you wave the guy away. Maybe you make it a little bit more shit taking. So the guy runs out and he's like, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And he's like this big buffoon of a dude with nunchucks who clearly can't work them. Your CO is like, de-escalate, get these civilians back inside. And the nunchuck guy just kind of slips on his own drunk vomit. And you're just like, it's taken care of. You could do a lot of things with it that would allow the game to not play into the cops abusing the people that they're hired and paid by to protect. But in this case, come on, You've got a terrorist in the Mexican border who has stolen 3 nukes coming into an American neighborhood. You don't shoot the civilians. The mission ends if you shoot the civilians. But I can forgive, in the context of the story, the guys who were trying to stop America and other Western cities from being blown off the map for not abusing someone's rights, but maybe not being, hey, let's stop and have a conversation. I appreciate you have the right to bear arms in the Second Amendment, but did you know? I mean, just shut the fuck up. Sometimes people are just looking for shit to complain about, and this is one of those cases, I think. There are moments. America is not being painted as a hands clean country, and that's good to see because it's true. The other thing I liked about this, and this is just a small little moment, but at one point in the game, you're playing Mexican special forces, and they come over the wall and they're chasing after, like I said, this terrorist. And the local police don't know what's going on, and they pull up and they try to arrest you and your buddy. And they have a line in there where they say something like,
I'm Colonel Alejandro Vargas of Special Forces. We're after a known terrorist.
Gomez, hold up. These are her guys. Hard to tell you boys apart from cartel.
now, you could take that because we're talking about they're wearing the same kind of outfits and they have the same paramilitary gear. But you can also take it, and maybe it was, I get the sense it was meant this way, as a little bit of a racist cop thing. Not that the cop was being an intentionally offensive asshole, but it was kind of like, oh, you all look alike to me. And so, you know, one brown guy running around the Mexican border on the American side with the guns got to be a bad guy, right? So is that the most poignant observation? Of course not. But it's kind of cool to see a game like Call of Duty not just be patriotic porn like the original Top Gun. So you got to give it props there, I think. But as it stands, a 6-hour campaign, probably less if you're really good. I loved it. You know I loved it because I'm giving it an 8 out of 5, and I'm telling you that if it was not for the middle and back end, it would have a 3 out of 5. That's how good the game gets for me. That I was like, oh, you've literally crawled out of a goddamn grave and come back to life and then emerged as a fucking rock star. Think about that. I loved it. 8 out of 5. Call of Duty campaign. Highly recommend it when it comes to Game Pass. Oops, did I say that? Be well.